The Sarpanch of a village in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district was shot dead yesterday by terrorists. According to the police statement, it happened at around 6 p.m. The victim is identified as Ajay Pandita, who was a grassroots political worker. As I said, he was the Sarpanch. To know more about the details and what's going on, I'm going to turn to Tushar Gupta.
Hey Karan. Karan, very unfortunate. Ajay Pandita Bharti, a 38, 40-year-old Sarpanch for the Congress party, he has been shot dead by terrorists. Of course, if we go by the media reports, he had been receiving threats for a while now. He had even requested for some security and accommodation from the central government, which of course was not provided to him. So, of late, there has been this increase in activity, in terrorist activity in the valley again. Of course, we all thought that after the Article 370 was revoked, the valley would go towards a more peaceful situation, but that has not really happened. So this is in the conditions in which the killing has occurred. He was a ground root worker, was very rooted, had been elected in a community which was Muslim majority. So of course he had a great pull, a political pull within the region. So his killing, of course, comes as a very unfortunate incident. The responsibility for this killing has been claimed by a group which calls itself the Resistance Front. So they have been very active in the valley in the past few months. So this is the group that has actually claimed responsibility online for the death of Ajay Pandita Bharti.
Right, Tushar, we've heard this name, the Resistance Front, here and there across the newspapers recently. What is the Resistance Front?
See, the Resistance Front, which is actually on the forefront of terror attacks in Kashmir these days, it's an offshoot of the terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba. But it also has association with terror outfits like Hizbul Mujahideen and Jaish-e-Mohammed. So it's not like a complete new outfit altogether, but an old outfit rebranded as new. That's what the Resistance Front actually is. Because Pakistan wanted to escape the FATF, that's the Financial Action Task Force scrutiny about its sponsorship of terrorism in the Indian Kashmir region, they actually rebranded Lashkar-e-Taiba as the Resistance Front. Now, the interesting part here, Karan, is it's called the Resistance Front. The kind of impression it is being given here, it's some kind of a resistance against the Indian government within Kashmir. The entire projection is such that these are people of Kashmir, the youth of Kashmir, which is rising against the Indian government, especially after August 2019, when Article 370 was revoked. So the entire focus of the Pakistani government or even of the ISI or people who are actually helping terrorists of the Resistance Front is to show to the people in the valley and to the world as a whole that what the group is actually not another group like Jaish-e-Mohammed, Hizbul Mujahideen or Lashkar-e-Toiba. This is group which has workers from the valley. Now, of course, the police working in Jammu and Kashmir and the army has refuted these claims time and again. They have actually said on record that these terrorists, they actually go to Pakistan, get trained for 6 months. So there's nothing indigenous about this entire resistance front. But the kind of projection that is being made, it is being made as if it is a resistance, it's some sort of a heroic resistance against Indian atrocities, imaginary atrocities, I would say, in Kashmir.
Right, Tushar, it's very interesting that you say that because, of course, like you pointed out, it says a resistance front. But what they are talking about, how they look at treating Indian citizens, the statement that they're making is completely at odds with what they're trying to project, isn't it?
Well, that's what up with terrorist organizations, isn't it? They talk about peace, they talk about ushering in a revolution, but all they do is rampant killing. It should be noted that the Resistance Front was actually the one which owned responsibility for the first grenade attack that had been unleashed in the valley post scrapping of Article 370. So this attack had happened in October last year, and TRF, that is the Resistance Front, had owned the responsibility for it. Now, recently, the domicile law for Kashmir was changed, for the UT was changed. People who had been studying there for 7 years and had passed their class 10th or class 12th exams could apply for residentship. Central government workers in the PSUs, banks, and all those things who had been there working for 10 years or their children, they could apply for citizenship. People who had been there living there for 12 years and had to be rehabilitated for whatever reasons, they could gain citizenship. When this law was introduced, the TRF actually made a very violent claim that anyone who comes to reside in the valley would be killed. They said that they do not, again, the irony here is they said that they do not lay hands on, civilians and people who are not a part of the movement, who are not a part of the conflict. But then they are ready to accept anyone, any Hindu or any Christian or any Sikh, any Buddhist, any Jain who may want to go to Jammu and Kashmir, reside, start a new life as a representative of the Indian government. And they made it very clear that anyone who tries to reside in the valley will be killed. And Karan, we have been learning that for a long time, Kashmiri Pandits have been longing to go back to their home. So this is one way of scaring them from coming back to their own home, from which they were thrown out in the early 1990s. So that's what this group has really been doing. It's been terrorizing even the possibility of Kashmiri Pandits rightfully going back to their own home or anyone else. Why is this domicile law important? Because it further integrates Kashmir into India. For a long time, due to Article 370, Kashmir was not seen as a part of India because of the laws that were there, because of the domicile laws that were there. This actually changes it. And that is why the TRF feels threatened. And it's not just the TRF. In the garb of TRF, it's the Lashkar-e-Toiba, the Hizbul Mujahideen, and the Jaish-e-Mohammed. These are the terrorist groups who feel threatened, and thus Pakistan.
Right. Tushar, also it's interesting that Ajay Pandita's family also has had that history where they had to leave in the early 90s and they were able to move back just a couple of years ago. And it's unfortunate that taking a part in a democratic process in Kashmir and you have to go through this. Tushar, let me ask you a very short and sharp question. What does this mean for the future, given what's going on currently?
See, yes, the family of Ajay Pandita actually had to leave Kashmir during the 1990s exodus. They came back. Ajay Pandita at least went back 6-7 years later, as he said in one of his interviews. The family probably moved on later, but he moved back, started his political career again. And this has resulted in his death today. It's very unfortunate. It discourages anyone who wants to move back to the valley to do some good work. It is not about who's a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian. It's about anyone, any Indian wanting to go back to Jammu and Kashmir to do some great work. Now, the Director General of Jammu and Kashmir Police, he made a statement yesterday to the media saying that there is a very concrete in a way persuasion of people to take up arms against the state. Now that shouldn't work. Most of the terrorists, even in the TRF right now, they are ones coming from Pakistan. These are infiltrators coming from other part of the LOC. So for now, the youth of Kashmir, the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, they need to understand that this is just another terrorist organization and it's nothing heroic about this resistance. For the future of Kashmir, it would be imperative that the resistance front is destroyed, as were other terrorist groups in the past, and no other terrorist group is allowed to operate in the garb of any resistance force. Because often people have a wrong notion that something like this would actually help Kashmir in certain way, in a socio-political way, when all they do is killings. As we've always said, that any political change which has its foundations in killing is a violent revolt. It's nothing else. It cannot be taken seriously. Its credibility is zilch. It's nada. Right. So that's the case with the Resistance Front. It's another terrorist organization in the garb of doing some good work for the people of Kashmir when it just wants to kill the very people who want to do something good for Kashmir.
Great, Tushar. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karan.